Hi everyone. I got a request last night in Kate's live stream from G Robb. She wanted me to do a little video of my starter garden so she could get a look at it and see what I've done so far. So I thought today would be a good time to go around and take a look at it. So let's go down here the steps and take a look. Here's my dog Logan messing about. What you doing, Logan, you silly boy? All right, well, right over here, just off the deck, I have a little container garden set up. Last year I had it started and had these 3 planters over here filled with beefsteak tomatoes. They did really well, produced large, really delicious tomatoes. I had so much left over at the end of the season. I gave about 40 tomatoes to my aunt. This year I just have so far a cherry tomato plant. Right here though I have strawberry. I have 4 plants here. The one in the back here isn't thriving. It's not doing too well. It's small compared to the other 3. So I'm probably going to pull that one. As you can see, I've got some blossoms already on this plant. And it's got a couple of fruit back here. It's produced. This has already produced fruit and I lost it. I'll see it at night and come out the next morning, it'll be gone. So I think a blue jay or some other kind of bird is helping themselves to it. Over here I have my cherry tomato, and it's got some on the vine already. I've already picked a few ripe tomatoes off this plant, and I have to tell you, the flavor, even though these are small tomatoes, the flavor is very intense, and it's delicious. It's amazing the difference between a store-bought tomato and a tomato fresh off the vine. There's just no comparison. The flavor, intensity, the richness of the flavor, the tomato flavor is just so much better when you pick it fresh off the vine than getting a store-bought tomato. And I'm not going to buy tomatoes in the store anymore. I am going to get a couple more tomato plants out here, and I'm going to put one in here and one in here. They're going to be the large beefsteak tomatoes, the slicing tomatoes. And right now over here in this pot, I have 2 thornless blackberry plants that I had from last year. They've really taken off this year. They are trying to produce fruit. We got the berries right here. See if I can get that in focus. These are hard and they're not really developing. And I'm thinking that might be because I don't have them in the proper soil. These blackberry plants, require a high acidic soil, and these are just in potting soil, and I haven't amended it yet. So what I need to do is get these out of these containers and plant them in the ground and amend the soil, get the pH down in the soil, and feed these, and they should do well. And I'm going to put like I said, a second beefsteak tomato plant in here. And I have some other empty containers here. I may put some other stuff in. I'm not real sure yet. This is my first year really planting more than just the tomatoes that I had last year. So I want to kind of take it easy. I'm not an expert gardener. I'm a rank amateur. Out here you can see all this area out here I had cleared. This all used to be grown in. I cleared this by hand, chainsaw, a mower and all that stuff. Got it cleared off. I haven't really developed it yet. Got it where I want it to be a large garden. So like I said, I'm just starting out small this year. Next year I'll develop that more, get more raised beds, and really try to grow more. I built this planter last year, had corn in it, and it had about 10 or 12 stalks come up. They got about 3 feet high. This area was not a good area to plant them. It doesn't get very much sun at all. It's in the shade, and also probably I didn't feed the corn enough nitrogen. So they grew up and didn't really take hold, and a big windstorm came through and knocked them all over. And that was my experiment here with corn. I'm going to plant some more corn probably out in here. This gets more sun, and I'll amend it with nitrogen to help them grow. But here I'm going to plant lettuce. I've got 3 or 4 different varieties of lettuce, so I'll just section this off into like three or 4 sections and plant lettuce in there. See how it does. Like I said, out here, this is still just kind of, undeveloped. I'm going to eventually put more raised beds out in here, have a lot more variety of vegetables and fruits and stuff growing out here. But to kind of expand on what I did last year, I did put a raised bed down here. I had cut down some oak trees last year, so I sectioned them up, and my uncle and my cousin helped me put this raised bed together out of the oak logs. And we planted bush beans in it. Here's a picture of what it looked like a few days after we had planted the bush bean. So you can see there's a difference here. We had beans all in these, come up in these barren areas here. You can see there's a large gap between where the beans are planted in here. They came up, and some of them were really close together, so what I did was thinned them out. And then others, they would grow tall and get top heavy and fall over, and it would snap or break the stem near the ground. So I had to pull those out. So what I did was I came in and I staked these plants that were getting tall to kind of support them. So this one here I didn't stake. I haven't had to stake so far yet. It's standing up pretty well on its own. I may eventually have to stake it, I don't know. But these down here I had to stake because they were falling over. So what I plan to do is to weed this. You can see got a lot of weeds in here that have come up. This was all full of weeds. Last night I came out and weeded this. Like you see over here, there's still a lot more weeds that need to come out. One of the problems I think with this is that there's not enough soil in it. The soil level isn't high enough. And so there's not enough support at the stem. And so the plants are falling over. So I'm going to weed this bed, and then I'm going to add more compost, more garden soil, maybe 3 or 4 more inches to the bed. Get the height up to help support the plants. And then I'm going to come through and plant some more beans in the spots that are barren right now, that are empty. And see if those will come up all right. So that's the grand tour of the garden. There's not much to it. It's just like I said, a starter garden. My plans are to expand it next year. The rest of this year, I'm going to probably just try to develop the garden area more, get raised beds in, get them filled with soil, get them amended, and get them ready for planting next spring. And hopefully I'll have a larger garden, more prolific, larger variety of vegetables and fruits. All right. Thanks for coming along. Hope you enjoyed the tour. Thanks.